Now our second part of our big finale lab, Lab 5F, is to start analyzing the series circuits that you've already made. So I'm going to swap over to Schoology again to show you that. Oops. This analysis part one is actually sort of a little bit of the finish up from experiment one and some actual analysis. So skipping over to that, the first thing I want you to do is draw the circuit diagrams for all 5 of those circuits that you made. So we'll start with the one has a battery and 1 resistor. You'll have, the next one will be 1 battery and your 2 resistors and so forth. I want you to keep some things in mind. Of course, use the appropriate electrical symbols. You can check out the video on circuit diagrams again to refresh your memory. That means also that always include the voltage of your battery right next to the battery symbol. And wherever you have a resistor symbol, you should also have the resistance in ohms next to it, right next to it. I also want you to include 1 voltmeter connected to the circuit, measuring either the battery voltage or one of the resistor voltages, and 1 ammeter, again, either set up where you had it to measure the current coming out of the battery or the current going into one of the resistors. But double check on the circuit diagram video for how to put those in. The second question here asks you to calculate the total resistance of each of the series circuits you built. We're going to do that using Ohm's law. Remember that I had a brief video on how to use Ohm's law, the V equals I times R. And you're going to use the battery voltage and battery current measured in each of our 5 series circuits. It says record the resistance below in a small table listing the circuit number and the total resistance in ohms. So you're going to say circuit 1, use Ohm's law to actually calculate how much resistance there was. Circuit 2, use Ohm's law to figure out how much resistance there was there. And just to pop over with the data that we were working on in the last video, what I mean is use Ohm's law with the battery voltage and the battery current. For circuit 2, you're going to use the battery voltage and the battery current to find the total resistance. Circuit 3, the battery voltage and the battery current to find the total. Don't just say, oh, just add them up. Don't do it, because there's a point I'm trying to make here as we go through this whole big lab. Okay, so use Ohm's law. It'll be a quick calculation for each. Make a small table that you can insert here that has circuits is one column, and then the voltage you measure as the other column. Okay, and that's all you have to do for the analysis portion.